Okay, folks, back again. So we've plotted on our graph paper, all right, and we obtained, if you watch the previous video, an actual fix of 54 degrees, 25.2 minutes north, and 3 degrees, 18.8 minutes east. Okay, so now we transfer that to the map. So I haven't done that yet, but let's do that right now. So we've got the map is easiest when it accepts decimal degrees. So let's convert that. So we take 54.2512 for 5425.2. Press the degree button, gives us 54.42. We'll put that in as our longitude. Oh, you can see it already pre-populated here because I already entered it in. But anyway, let's just assume that I didn't do that yet. And we'll compute the other one. So we've got 3 degrees, 18.8 is 1848. Hit the degree, that gives us the 313333. Okay, perfect. And let's push. Oop, that didn't work. Okay, 5.54.42. There's that. I'm not sure why this is. It might be just too long. Hold on. There we go. That's probably better. Okay, so there's our actual fix. Let's add up. Excuse me. Just push this. Add to map. Okay, so that's our now this is our actual. This is where our site was reduced to. So let's. How far off were we? Now mine is in statute miles. Okay, so 3.57. I need to divide that by 1.15 to get nautical miles. Off by 3.1 nautical miles. That's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good. In meters, if we just take, or I should say, hectometers, 1.852, 5.5, or not hectometers, excuse me, kilometers, 5.7 kilometers, so 5,700 meters away. So that's not too bad. So I mean, that's well within visual range, of course. So that's good enough for what we're doing. Okay, so that's a pretty decent fix. I probably had some plotting errors or whatever, or maybe rounded some values off to didn't get it super exact. But anyway, that is a highly acceptable margin of error there. All right, so that and certainly much closer than our assumed position is. Okay, so we wouldn't know about this. We'd say, okay, yep, that's our position. It's just pretty darn close. It's never going to be super, right on the money with celestial. It's very possible to get within 1 or 2 nautical miles for sure, but in this case, we didn't quite make it. But anyway, so that's how you simply just transfer that plot to the map. So you would do the same thing, of course, in Wolfpack. If you wanted to use the map in Wolfpack, you would just simply do all the procedures that I showed you on paper, including that secant angle trick to get the minutes of longitude right, the lateral offset from your assumed position, your assumed longitude. You need to do that step, otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to be somewhere over here because you haven't properly corrected for the converging lines of longitude. Okay, so plotting on a flat surface, the alternative is, of course, is that you just plot in here, and then you don't have to do that trick because you're going to have the same distances, intercept distances, but you're going to actually have real lines of longitude. But the tools in here they leave a lot to be desired in terms of plotting, especially with angles, because otherwise you're forced to get this thing here, and you just don't have to do that. Just get it so that you can plot someplace else, whether that's in Wolfpack or whatever, or on paper or whatever, and then just transfer your position to here. So what does this mean for our campaign? Well, like I said before, what I would do if we do end up going this route, and even if we do, to those that want to do it, it's highly optional. I would give you this information right here, this and that, and that's it. And the date. You'd have the date, the time, the body, and then your sextant reading. Okay, you would do all the rest. You'd use the website. You'd plunk all your information in there, and you'd use your DR position, your dead reckoning position, as your assumed position. like we did, and then you'd go in, and if there's interest in this, let me know. If there is, then I will post all of these years of nautical almanacs out there. You go in and you pull the information you need. Just remember, for a star, you need to add the GHA of Aries to this sidereal. Hour angle is the SHA of the particular body you're looking at. That plus that is going to be what you put into the GHA, Greenwich hour angle, here, and then the declination is right out of the almanac as well. That's right here for the particular body in question. Just make sure you designate north south, and then of course the same thing with your latitude and longitude here. The rest of this you don't need to worry about here. Then you would just go into your observed altitude and drop in your sextant reading there. And by the way, if we do end up going this route, so the navigational inaccuracy that comes, that's mitigated by your sea trials, will actually be inherent in your sextant reading. Okay, that is what will throw you off. Okay, so you'll never know, but I will fudge it if your crew is still green, so to speak, because you haven't done a lot of sea trials. I will fudge those to be a little more inaccurate, just so you're aware of that. So you might be getting differences of 15 nautical miles, etc., in your errors in your plotting. Okay, so you drop your observed altitude in here, hit your reduced sight. That'll give you your computed altitude and your azimuth. These you want to make note of, like we did here, because that's what you're ultimately going to go to your plotting table with. Okay, so just ways of empowering the crew a little more, of involving the crew on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's just a way to add a little more realism into the campaign. And then I guess the third item is, I know a lot of you navigators out there in our campaign, or in the Wolfpack community in general, you love the plotting stuff. I just know it, and I figured you might eat this kind of stuff up. So this is true blue navigation stuff. So I mean, it's a perfect fit for a Wolfpack navigator, in my opinion. So to the extent we can model it in our campaign. So again, I appeal to you, implore you to let me know how this is. If this is too much, let me know. But otherwise, again, it's always going to be highly optional. For those that want it, they can have it. I will be happy to generate the data for you, and you can just go run with it. So anyway, so that's that. Take care, and we'll talk soon.